Somewhere along the way, software stopped being something you bought. Now it's something you rent. Your notes, your documents, your password manager, your PDF editor. Even the most basic productivity tools come with a monthly subscription attached now. Here's the strange part. Thousands of developers have already built free alternatives that are just as capable. Over the past few months, I started replacing the software I use every day with free alternatives. Some were good, a few were surprisingly better, and a handful have permanently earned a place on my computer. The first thing I replaced was Microsoft Office. For most people, Microsoft Office isn't complicated. It's just familiar. Word for documents, Excel for spreadsheets, PowerPoint for presentations. It's the default choice for schools, businesses, and pretty much every office job on the planet. But most people use maybe 10% of what they're actually paying for. If all you need is to write reports, build spreadsheets, create presentations, or collaborate with coworkers, there are free alternatives that handle those jobs without asking for another subscription. The one that impressed me most was OnlyOffice. The first thing I noticed wasn't the price, it was the compatibility. Open a Word document and it stays a Word document. The formatting holds up. Tables stay where they should. Fonts don't suddenly shift halfway down the page. Same story with Excel spreadsheets and PowerPoint presentations. If you're someone who works almost entirely with Microsoft file formats, it's probably the closest replacement you'll find. If your priorities are different, LibreOffice is another excellent option. It's been around for years, has a massive community behind it, and includes everything from documents to spreadsheets, presentations, diagrams, databases, and even formula editing. It isn't trying to look like Microsoft Office, it's trying to be its own productivity suite. Replacing Microsoft Office saved money. But something else happened along the way. I realized I wasn't actually spending most of my day writing documents anymore. I was organizing information. That's what sent me looking for a replacement for Notion. Not because Notion is bad. It's genuinely one of the best productivity apps out there. But over time, it became something I was constantly maintaining. New templates, new databases, new dashboards. Eventually, I was organizing the system more than I was actually using it. That's when I found AppFlowy. At first glance, it looks familiar. Pages, databases, documents, Kanban boards, tasks. The learning curve is almost non-existent. But AppFlowy does one thing differently. Your workspace belongs to you. You decide where it's stored. You can keep everything locally, self-host it, or use their cloud service if that's what you prefer. That flexibility matters, especially when your notes contain project ideas, client work, business plans, or research you've spent years building. To be fair, AppFlowy still has room to grow. There are features Notion handles better today, especially around large team collaboration. Comments, permissions, and some collaborative workflows are still more polished on Notion's side. But for personal knowledge management, planning projects, documenting ideas, and keeping your digital life organized, AppFlowy has become surprisingly capable. If you want something even more visual, AFFiNE is worth a look too. It combines documents, whiteboards, and databases into a single workspace, so you can sketch ideas before turning them into structured notes. It's one of the few productivity tools that actually encourages thinking instead of just collecting information. Replacing Notion changed something I wasn't expecting. My files felt less scattered, not because I'd become more organized, but because I'd stopped relying on dozens of disconnected apps. Then another daily annoyance stood out. Moving files between devices. Most people don't think about file sharing until it stops working. You email yourself a document, upload it to cloud storage, generate a sharing link, download it again on another device, all because you're moving one file from your laptop to your phone. LocalSend removes almost all of that. Install it on your devices, connect them to the same network, and that's it. Photos, videos, PDFs, entire folders. They transfer directly between your devices. No accounts, no cables, no cloud uploads, no file size limits hiding behind a free plan. It works across Windows, macOS, Linux, Android, and iPhone, which means you don't need everyone using the same ecosystem anymore. You're not locked into AirDrop. You're not locked into Quick Share. You're just sending files the way it probably should have worked from the beginning. It's one of those apps that disappears into your workflow. After a few days, you stop thinking about it entirely. You just expect file transfers to be instant. And they usually are. Getting files onto your computer is one thing. Editing them is another, and almost everyone has searched for free PDF editor at least once. That search is exactly how most people end up uploading private documents to random websites they've never heard of. Stirling PDF solves the problem without asking you to trust a stranger with your documents. It's a free, open-source PDF toolkit you can run yourself. Merge PDFs, split them, compress them, rotate pages, convert formats, add watermarks, sign documents, extract pages. There's a long list of tools built into one interface. But the important part isn't the feature list, It's where your files stay, on your computer, or on your own server if you'd rather self-host it. Your documents never have to leave your control. And once you start paying attention to where your files actually go, you start noticing something else. Almost every website you log into knows far more about you than it should, which makes the next replacement one of the most important in this whole video. Passwords are one of those things nobody thinks about until something goes wrong. A leaked password, a hacked account, or that moment you're staring at a login screen trying your 15th variation of the same password. Most people solve that problem the worst possible way. They reuse passwords. It's convenient, right up until one website gets breached. Then suddenly your email, banking, cloud storage, and half your online life are all running on credentials that already exist somewhere on the internet. That's exactly why I replaced my password manager. Bitwarden has become one of the easiest recommendations I can make. It generates strong passwords automatically, stores them securely, syncs across devices, fills them in when you need them, then gets out of your way. The free version already covers what most people actually need. If you'd rather keep everything completely offline, KeePassXC is another excellent choice. Nothing sits on someone else's server unless you decide it should. You own the database and you decide where it lives. By this point, I'd replaced several apps. Media players are boring. That's exactly why a good one matters. You shouldn't have to wonder whether a video file will open, or install 3 different codecs, or convert a file just to watch it. VLC solved that problem years ago, and it still does. Movies, podcasts, screen recordings, old camera footage, downloaded lectures. It opens almost everything you throw at it. Some software becomes popular because of marketing. VLC became popular because it simply refused to break. The best software usually disappears into the background. You stop thinking about it because it just keeps doing exactly what it's supposed to do. The same thing happened with another app I installed, except this one doesn't play videos. It changes the way you work. Silence isn't always productive. Neither is music. Sometimes you need something in between. That's where Blanket came in. It's incredibly simple. Open it, choose the sounds you want. Rain, wind, fireplace, coffee shop, thunder, waves, keyboard clicks. Mix them together. Adjust the volume of each one independently, then leave it running. There's no algorithm deciding what you should listen to. No advertisements, no recommendations, no endless playlist competing for your attention. Just background sound exactly the way you configured it. It became part of my writing sessions almost immediately, not because it helped me focus exactly, but because it removed the distractions that usually pulled me away from work. Sometimes the smallest software changes make the biggest difference. And while I was replacing more and more apps, I noticed something else. I was still trusting someone else with one of the most important parts of my digital life, my email. Email is where almost everything important eventually ends up. Receipts, invoices, client conversations, account recovery links, financial statements, legal documents. It's one of the few services almost every other account depends on. That's why I moved my important email over to Proton Mail. It's built around encryption and privacy from the ground up. The interface is clean, spam filtering is excellent, and it integrates with calendars, cloud storage, and other productivity tools without feeling like a pile of separate products bolted together. If your email disappears, everything else starts falling apart, so it's one of the few services where reliability matters more than almost anything else. If you enjoy discovering software, websites, and internet tools that genuinely improve the way you work, Beyond Google has plenty more. Subscribe if you'd like to keep exploring. I'll see you in the next one.